This is a beautiful tent. Pretty big. Oh. Awesome. Okay. Now I gotta take this off. And I gotta put in the other little guy and make sure that this stays where it's supposed to be. Very, very cold. Nothing works right when it's very cold. I can tell you that from experience. Where are you? Here's the stove. And this thing is a beauty. It really is. It's got some cool features, including glass walls. And I believe, yeah, this right here is a fireproof mat. Excellent. And that's going on the floor. And you can see right here, they've got a fireproofing. Oh, and that comes off. Cool. That's Velcroed there to protect your wall from the heat of the stove. And here is the stove. This thing is stainless steel, and it is awesome. Okay. Looks like a normal stove, but it is not. It is special. You'll notice right here that I can't go all the way down into the stove. There's something blocking me, and that is on purpose. It's a baffle, so the smoke will go all the way to the back, and the baffle has an opening in the back of the stove, and the smoke and the heat will curl around the back, and then it'll come on top here and suck out, if that makes any sense. So essentially it's almost like there's two tops to the stove. The first top has an opening in the back of the stove that allows for the smoke and the heat to curl around and then come out. And that essentially allows for a beautiful draft. It allows for the stove to have very even heat on top, all over the top for cooking, and it acts like a spark arrestor. So your sparks are dying out before they're even getting to this point. With these legs, it's very simple. Just wing nuts. That's all it is. Keeping it smart. Don't need any special tools. He's in there good. Okay, I gotta line this up, and then I gotta go outside and check make sure the opening is good on the outside. What do you guys think? Is she straight? Feels straight to me. There we go. And I want to get a nice bed of coals, and it looks like I'm really getting it now. In fact, what I might do, bring everything to the front and let that wind just suck at it. There's a great little net here to hang your wet stuff so it'll dry off, and it's not going to take long in this. One of the really cool things about the stove is the draft system. So now she's closed off. The stove, there's no air getting in. Pull this off, the whole entire cover, and you're getting the most amount of air being sucked through there. And that is giving off a tremendous amount of heat. That bed of coals is beautiful. So you close that, and then there's certain levels, right? So you have, alright, I'm letting a bit of air in. I'm letting more air in. I'm letting even more. And then you take it all the way off, and you get a really nice draft going through. And so I'm keeping it right here as I cook. Down in the corner by the stove, there's a little flap, and I can feel on my hand a cold breeze rushing in through. A, that's feeding the stove, and B, it's keeping this place nice and ventilated and protecting against the possible carbon monoxide issue. So that's a very smart little feature right there, making sure that this place is properly ventilated. I gotta learn to control the stove. It's hot. Is it nylon, by the way? I'm not sure what this material is, but it is definitely not nylon. It's a very thick material and proving to keep me very, very warm. I've just been enjoying this tent so much, and now that I'm focusing on food, it's everything right now. This is good. Hot dogs and craft dinner. I don't care who you are, I don't care how rich you are. You try that. That's delicious. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the morning. One big log. Well, it's 8:30 in the morning. That stove did a good job all night. Did a really good job. So I filled it up in the middle of the night, and then I went back to sleep, and then I got up at 6 a.m. for a minute, and then I put some more wood on, and now it's 8:30. So we got about 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours, and I mean, I had a lot of coals left, so I definitely had a lot more time left on this, but I decided I would just put a piece on right now. But yeah, it's minus 37 out there right now on the outside of this tent, minus 37. It is not minus 37 in here. I did let that get down to a bed of coals, so it's definitely not super hot in here right now, but I was comfortable in my sleeping bag last night. I was very comfortable in this tent. It's like it's a nice even heat all the way around, which is good. It's good. It's good. And I had the little windows open throughout the night to let some fresh air come in, which I actually needed the fresh minus 37 air coming in to keep me a bit cool, because it gets hot in this tent, and that's what you want. Now you can control it too, right? You want it to be able to get very hot, and you want it to get cold. So here, let's get the tent really hot, and let's slow it down a bit. Let's cool it off.
Hello, welcome back to the channel. Out on the trip at the moment in the Russian bear market up to tent. Thought I'd take the opportunity to show you in a little more detail the ins and outs of sort of the workings of it. So let's have a look inside. I don't have with me a wide angle lens today, so I'm going to interject some footage from previous trips with the tent. But yeah, you can see it's a spacious thing. It's like a TARDIS, this. It doesn't look that big from the outside, but on the inside there is bags of room, and that's a lot down to the dome shape. The tent can be set up with various configurations. You could have the stove and 2 beds in here quite comfortably, or if you're using it for one like I do, you can have a chair, a table and a bed as well as the stove. Still have plenty of room for manoeuvring, and you've got the option of a door either side as well. The tent itself is absolutely bomb-proof. It's such a well-made piece of kit, and that's probably due to it being from Russia and designed for sort of Siberian winters. To put up the tent, you just use the built-in umbrella mechanism, so this tent goes up as quickly as any other tent I've got, despite its size. It's also the only tent I've ever used that has the option of using a swing door. On the 2 opposite sides from the 2 doors of the tent, you've got the windows as well. Now, I said the tent itself has 2 layers, but the windows have the inside layer, they have a mesh screen, they have the outer layer, which I can open already here. You've then got both a clear window and the proper outer there as well, which you can have like so. And on the outside of these windows, all of the flaps are protected to keep water out. The doors are similar too. You've got your outer, you've got your mesh, and you've got your inner as well. And that's as well as the swing opening door as well. On the 5 sides of the dome that haven't got the door or the stove, you have these pockets as well, and there's 3 on each side. You also have the option of a Velcro on pocket system for each side as well. Today I've got the tent set up on a ground sheet, which is a 3 or 4 layer, I can't quite remember. That's an option just to keep it insulated inside. The whole bottom of the tent will unzip, so you can open that up, and you have openings inside of the ground sheet where you can do ice fishing and such. On the top you have like a hammock pocket system, and you have many tie-outs and clips where you can put lamps or dry clothes in the hot tent. These tie-outs also go around the sides of the tent as well, so you can put up a washing line or whatever you want. Now, this is one of the Russian bear market stoves. They're an interesting design. They have the chimney on the front, and they have a baffle inside, so that heat goes around and up. They've also got inside the tent this velcroed on heat shield, which goes all the way up to the stove jack, and the stove itself comes with a heat-proof sheet to put it on as well. The system works very well inside of the tent. The stove itself comes with side baffles which protect the glass, spare parts, comes with smoke detector, all of that stuff as well. It's an extremely efficient stove I've found through using it. You can load it up, close it down, and it just works for ages. I've had this go all night with just a couple of pieces of oak in it. The stove also has an ashtray that you can pull out at the bottom there. It has your dampener air vent there, which can be taken off fully or just adjusted with holes inside it. And to insert wood, you take off the whole front. Now, this is probably the weakest point of this stove. This can be a little funny to get fully on and off, and then your opening isn't massive for clearing out and for adding wood, but it works well. The stove is so efficient that I'll forgive it that, though I would probably prefer a door of some sort. At the bottom of the tent, underneath the stove, there's a small vent which you can roll up, and that allows fresh air to come in and be heated by the stove. The stove jack on this tent is also very impressive. You've got heat shielding on 2 separate layers. You've got metal rings which the chimney itself fits through. The flaps themselves are backed with heat shielding, and all the way around you have these flaps for stopping water from getting through.